40inbox.com here. So, Kim Kardashian and Floyd Mayweather are now being sued by investors in the Ethereum Max tokens. Now, I have not read this story yet, but I'm kind of aware about it. And it's basically like they were pretty much promoting pretty much a crap coin, right? A poop coin that is basically just a scam, like a pump and dump thing. And here's the thing, a lot of people who might end up like listening to this have probably seen examples of this sort of thing going on. Like you're probably seen like, some sort of influencer that you might actually even like, that you might even follow, and you see them promoting like this really random like NFT, really random like crypto coin, and you're like, why the hell are you promoting this thing? Right? Because here's the thing, a lot of these people are making a lot of money. But also, when you like take a step back and look at it, you're like, wait a minute, you guys are like millionaires and you're promoting a scam to your followers, right? Like, do you have like no respect for yourself? Do you have no respect for your fans? Like, it's pretty horrendous, to be honest, right? By the way, 40inbox.com, we tend to talk about money, financial related news. So let's get right into it. So Kim Kardashian and Floyd Mayweather Jr. were sued for allegedly scamming investors in a cryptocurrency called Ethereum Max. The reality television star and ex-boxing champion were paid to hype the blockchain-based digital tokens to their fans, causing investors to purchase these losing investments at inflated prices. According to the complaint filed in Los Angeles federal court, former Boston Celtic Paul Pierce was also named as a defendant in the suit. So Kardashian was called out in September by UK financial regulator for luring her 250 million Instagram followers into the crypto bubble with delusions of quick riches. Now again, like here's the thing. Kardashian and Mayweather, right? They are filthy rich, right? So why the hell are they promoting scams to their millions of followers for probably not even that much money? Like that's the craziest thing about that. Okay, like maybe they'll make a million, maybe they'll make a couple hundred grand for like a post like this, right? And they like probably didn't think like anything of it. They probably weren't doing any research about it. But still, it's like how much more money do you need to have to where you basically are okay with promoting something that you have no knowledge of, right? Like, let's take it for example. Mayweather could easily, and I mean easily, create a very cheap product to promote to all his millions of fans and literally make millions of dollars off that product. Kim Kardashian could literally just create a like $5 lip gloss or something, or who knows, right? Or just like a photo of her butt as like an NFT and literally make millions of dollars selling that. But she's not scamming people by doing that. They're selling a product, right? That people actually want. And yet, they get involved with something so stupid like promoting a scam crypto coin. And a lot of these crypto coins that are getting pumped are basically Ponzi schemes, right? A good example of this is the YouTuber that kind of exposed the Save the Kids token, where like it had all these like really big influencers that were straight up scamming, just straight up scamming their followers, right? And then like kind of like covering it up as like almost like a charity, and it's disgusting, right? Like it's one thing if you were to sell a product and people just don't like your product, okay? That's one thing. It's another thing to literally actively and intentionally promote a product that is a straight up scam. Like that is just disgusting. So Mayweather, one of his sport's most recognizable personalities, has previously run afoul of regulators for promoting cryptocurrency investments. He was fined by the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission in 2018 for touting initial coin offerings on social media without disclosing that he'd been paid to do so. So representatives for Kardashian and Mayweather didn't immediately respond to requests for comment. Pierce couldn't be reached for comment, and the January 7th suit was reported earlier by Wall Street Journal. So Emacs is described in the lawsuit as a speculative digital token created by a mysterious group of cryptocurrency developers who are also named as defendants in the case. Oh, by the way, a good example of creating like a coin and it end up going like super big through legitimate means is a YouTuber called Biaheza, where he literally showed people that he created this crap coin. He literally told people not to buy this crap coin, and yet people still did that watched it, right? And he literally just basically told people, like straight up, like, hey, do not put your money into this thing. And people did, and they blew it up, causing it to be worth like millions and millions and millions of dollars in terms of like the wallet that he was holding. So that's the way to do something where like you create something in the crypto space and it ends up just taking off, but you weren't planning on doing anything nefarious with it. It's almost like just like a joke, and you made it blatantly obvious that it's just a joke, and to have people not get involved into it. So that's one way to do it where it's actually good. This is just straight up scamming people. So Ethereum Max has no connection to the second largest cryptocurrency, Ethereum, according to a footnote in the complaint. It would be akin to marketing a restaurant as McDonald's Max when it had no affiliation with McDonald's, other than the name's similarity in the fact that both companies sell food products. And that's a pretty good example, right? Because, like, imagine if you're selling a product, right, called, let's just say as an example, because I'm drinking it right now, Diet Coke, right? But for you to end up actually selling it to people, you start calling it Diet Coke Max, right? Because maybe it just gives you a little bit more caffeine, possibly, right? Like, it's just so sketchy, right? Because you're basically trying to piggyback off of the popularity and basically take advantage of people who have no clue, really, about cryptocurrency at all. And this is really the sad thing about it. It's like the same situation that happened with Dogecoin, where you had all these different coins that had Doge in it, ended up basically blowing up because people just created coins that sounded like Dogecoin. And people are like, oh, that's totally the right coin, right? Or like, oh, I think I heard Doge going to the moon or something because of Elon. Let's just put some money in there, right? Not realizing that that literally had no connection to Dogecoin. So the case was filed as a proposed class action on behalf of everyone who bought EMAX tokens from mid-May to late June. The complaint cites violations of California consumer protection laws and seeks restitution for the difference between the purchase price of the EMAX tokens and the price those EMAX tokens sold for. So the case is Hugrich vs. Gentile, 22 CV 00163, U.S. District Court, Central District of California. Let's see. Anything? Comments? I wonder if there's any comments on this thing. I think that'd be kind of interesting to see. No, it doesn't really seem like. Oh, no, there is comments. Okay. Show comments about this article. There's a misprint in the title. There's no such thing as an investor in Ethereum Max, only speculators. I'd have to agree. If you base your investment on hype by either Kardashian or Mayweather, then that's on you. Ethereum Max is an excellent investment, at least for them. What is the problem? They made their money isn't that what paid advertisers are supposed to do. Look at all the individuals advertising on TV for gold, reverse mortgages, silver, land, etc. They are doing the same. It would be great for those two eagle hounds to lose everything and end up living under an overpass. That's probably never going to happen, Pet, I like to solve the puzzle. Phrase, there is a fool born every minute. And it's literally like broken up all the time, okay? An anonymous coward, it is probably illegal to tout an investment without disclosing you are being paid to do it. Even worse than touting an investment you stand to profit from. That is actually, I think, pretty true. I think it actually is illegal for someone to promote, like actively promote an investment and not disclosing that you're actually being paid to basically promote it, right? Now it'd be something completely different if, like, let's say that, okay, let's say for example, this podcast, right? Like this, you just listen to this, right? Let's say for example, this thing were to end up getting to a pretty high amount of listeners, right? And it got sponsored by, let's say, I don't know, one of the creators of Ethereum or the people that work in Ethereum, right? Well, I do like Ethereum, right? As a coin. I could probably basically be like in passing with like a conversation with someone, basically be like, I like Ethereum for this sort of this reason, this reason, this reason, and not say that they're sponsors because it's just like a different situation. It's more like a conversation type of situation. But if I were to basically like go like on an episode and basically go like almost like a monologue promoting Ethereum specifically, right? Where I'm like actively promoting it, and I don't say that I am also sponsored to promote Ethereum, that would be probably very illegal, right? So that's another way to really look at it, right? Because I view it a little bit differently where someone likes something, they happen to be a sponsor, but they're not like actively promoting it, right? Whereas like you can just see it like in their presence, you see it like they use it, that kind of stuff, right? I think that's a little bit different than just people like literally trying to like shove it down your throat, like shoving it into your ears all the time as like a sponsored post kind of thing without letting you know, hey, it's sponsored. I believe there was like Instagram influencers, like models, like supermodels almost, that got into this trouble with the whole Fire Festival thing because they didn't actually disclose, like, wait a minute, they got paid by the people who are running Fire Festival to promote Fire Festival, right? So anytime you get paid to go and do something, to promote something, you definitely should and probably have to disclose that you are doing that, right? But if you just are using something because you like it and they happen to be a sponsor, I think that's like kind of like a gray line. But if you're like actively promoting it, yeah, you definitely gotta disclose that. See, now that she is almost a lawyer, I wonder if she will represent herself. California is the only state that allows a person to become a licensed lawyer without attending law school. Oh, you mean they can't actually take advantage of their followers? Good luck with that lawsuit, wherever you may be. Kim, well, I thought tokens were those things you use on the bus, to pay the fare, and this whole Ether thingy, I thought we were offering stuff for a hospital. Currency based on the whims of people's imagination, what could go wrong? So being a Kardashian should be illegal. I love Kim's behind. Everything is forgiven from my point of view. These people are so crazy. What does she do with all that money? Greedy people take advantage of their fans. How low can you get? Suckers. Boo hoo, boo hoo. This is just the beginning of people losing big time. You bought something because a Kardashian told you to? I mean, why would you do that? And, that's a pretty good question. But at the same time, I think people underestimate the importance or the effect that a lot of these influencers have on their followers, right? Like, for example, let's say that you are someone that had 1 million followers and you had like 1 million people every single time that you posted anything would engage with your stuff, right? Like they're not just like sitting on the sidelines, casually looking at your stuff. They're like in there making comments, they're interacting with one another. It's almost like a community, all that kind of stuff. And they basically look at you like you're their god, right? It gets into a very crazy situation where like, wait a minute, like you could pretty much basically say like, hey, go drink Coke and bleach to lose weight. And there's going to be people willing to do that. Like, so you need to understand like the effect that a lot of these influencers actually have on their followers is disturbingly large. So just keep that in mind and really take like a step back and like look at it and like don't necessarily be angry at the people that got involved into this that basically lost their money because some people might think like, oh, they're morons, they're stupid, all that kind of stuff, right? View it as like you feel sad and also disappointed in them that they've like they don't value themselves enough to do their own research to protect themselves and their family from engaging into something this absurd, right? Because you just gotta be really, I guess you could say, understanding that, like, if you see an individual basically falling for something like this that are one of their followers, you gotta view it as like from their kind of like perspective, like that person to them is like almost the most important person in their life, right? For some of them, right? This is also where you get into that weird situation where I think that Twitch streamer, also OnlyFans girl, I think Amaranth, I think that's how you pronounce her name, Amaranth, however you pronounce her name, where you have like a dude, I'm assuming, basically pay her $8,000, right, to call him basically a POS, right? To basically degrade him. Why? Probably because to her, like to him, right? She is like his god or goddess, right? Like she is like the most important thing that ever existed in his life, right? And like he was so desperate for this to happen that when basically I think the credit card processor basically told him like, hey, you can't just do like this one big payment of $8,000. The guy like did like 40 payments of like $200 a piece, right? So that she would actually end up doing that. So that kind of goes to show you like sometimes if you reach a large enough size of followers of like influence because they literally influence people, people are going to start viewing you, a certain percentage of your followers are going to start viewing you as basically the most important thing in their lives. So you got to really take that into consideration. So I hope that something might come out of this, but the thing is, the reality, they're multimillionaires. They're probably not even going to have to pay the total amount that they even got paid to promote it. And there's probably nothing going to really happen to them. They're not going to go to jail. They're not going to go to prison. They are far too filthy rich and connected to be able to just go to jail or prison, right? Like they're not going to do that, right? You got to really understand like once you reach like a level of wealth, you can probably skirt things that other people can't really do. If you want to learn how to get out of debt and master your money and hopefully not be so foolish like this, go check out 40inbox.com.